Mr. Chairman, I need to begin by noting the Democrats' habit of discussing legal and illegal immigrants as if they were the same. That is a supreme insult to the millions of legal immigrants who enter our country every year by obeying our laws. Legal immigrants come here pledged to pull their weight, not to be a burden on others, to obey our laws, and to love and defend our country. Illegal immigrants come here under very different circumstances. Their first act is to commit a federal crime by illegally entering our country. Their second act is to demand free food, shelter, medical care, clothing, education, transportation, and legal services. I've watched them at the border taunting our Border Patrol as they illegally cross into our country. To equate their lawless behavior with law-abiding, hard-working, and patriotic legal immigrants is outrageous, and my colleagues who do so should be ashamed of themselves. The Senate bill that we heard the ranking member tout would make it impossible for a future president to use his existing authority to secure the border, as Trump did, until illegal crossings exceed 4,000 a day. And as Border Patrol agents tell us, the problem is not lack of laws, it's a deliberate decision by the Democrats not to enforce those laws. Now, the Democrats tell us, well, this is great for the economy. Since the more people in the economy, the larger it is. Well, duh. But as the CBO director testified to this committee earlier this year, the economic impact on working Americans is catastrophic because it suppresses wages for unskilled and low-skilled American workers, and it breeds an underground economy that further suppresses the competitiveness of American workers. So working Americans see their wages stagnate as a result, and many are forced out of the labor market entirely. Ms. Kirchner, how do we help working Americans by flooding the labor market with cheap, illegal labor?
We don't help them at all. And actually, if we wanted to be kind to their previous generations of immigrants, we would not flood the market with cheap labor. There is ample evidence that it depresses wages.
And the CBO director actually confirmed that right here before this committee. You estimated the net cost to U.S. taxpayers to be $150 billion to support these illegals after deducting what little tax they pay. That includes $70 billion in costs to our schools, does it not?
Yes, sir.
And $22 billion for medical care?
Yes, sir.
What do you think the Democrats would say if Republicans proposed cutting $70 billion out of our schools and $22 billion out of our hospitals? And yet, isn't that exactly what they're doing?
Well, I wouldn't propose to put words in anyone's mouth, but I do think that illegal immigration has consequences, and we need to accept that as a nation, and we need to make good policy decisions, and that means understanding the real impact of what's going on and the costs that are associated, not just the economic benefits, as you said, of growing the greater economic pie, the GDP measuring alone, and everything is made up of choices. And if you look,
and your estimate of cost, just direct cost of the government. It's not the cost of crimes committed by illegals.
Exactly.
It's not the cost of wage reductions for working Americans.
Exactly.
It's strictly
it's a
the direct
snapshot
cost
of payments and revenues.
The Democrats tell us that illegal immigrants are more law-abiding than Americans. Mr. Smith, are the illegals entering your county more law-abiding than your legal residents?
Well, I can tell you from the numbers that I quoted earlier, of those thousands of cases, we have about 50 county residents being prosecuted. The remaining is the result of an open border. And I would just add that, there is a difference.
I've got to go on. Ms. Kirchner, did you not look at the SCAPE requests made by states for the cost of incarcerating illegals and conclude that illegals are 231% more likely to be jailed for crimes in California, 440% more likely in New Jersey, and 60% more likely in Texas?
I have not looked at the recent data, but I know, and certainly in California, it's very high.
In fact, in some states like California, they make it illegal to report immigration status of suspects. So using Cato's methodology, illegal aliens never commit a crime in California.
Yes. That is a problem, sir, and we do know the truth. We know, and even, you know, what's interesting is even the Biden administration recently has been coming out and saying, please, sanctuary cities, please honor our detainers. We don't want to deport many people, but the people we want to deport are very bad.
Let me just finish by saying that the opposition to illegal immigration is not opposition to legal immigration. In fact, the people I find who are the angriest about illegal immigration are the legal immigrants who have played by the rules, waited patiently in line, and are now watching millions of illegal migrants cut in line in front of them. And if we're going to encourage and reward illegal immigration, which is the clear and consistent policy of the Democrats today, then there's no point in legal immigration.